To the clubs in downtown Chicago. That was my whole life then. I mean, you taking my picture?
Yeah. You gotta put it down. You put the mask down. All right, go for it. All right, tell us about all the hot spots in Chicago in the
You want me to
when you
start
were.
all over?
Yeah. Start all over. Yeah. Start over. How about start over? Start over.
Well, I worked at the Pump Room in Chicago. That was a big famous place. I worked at the Hyatt House, also famous downtown. I worked the Executive House. These are hotels. I worked a place called Fritzl's, the most famous restaurant. The food at that place was excellent. And so many different places. It was an exciting life. And I guess the reason I worked so much is because I worked at becoming a better entertainer. I knew I had to be a better entertainer, and I did. I'd come home and learn different songs, and I'd play my accordion on the job. I'd play my piano, and I'd play them both. I'd take part of my set on accordion, and then I'd switch to piano. I learned to tell some jokes. I was a very good entertainer. I was another Johnny Carson, probably better.
What was your favorite place? Oh, go ahead. No, you go. I'll ask after.
Well, I did a lot of entertaining because I made myself an entertainer because I enjoyed what I did and I wanted to be good at what I did, and I worked hard at it. I'd come home and I'd learn a song and I'd memorize it. I never read any music after I come home. I'd memorize it and I knew it, and then I memorized about 500 songs, and I can still remember them throughout the years. I think music and lyrics are something I never left me. I can remember songs that I sang when I was just 22 years old, like Hannah says. I don't know why, but I guess that's part of being dedicated to your profession. And nobody seems to do that anymore. I don't know. But it was an interesting life. I enjoyed myself. There were hard times as well as the good times. I remember some clubs I'd work, I'd take a break and the owner or the manager would look at me when I took my break and he'd go, meaning he's watching the clock to see how long of a break I took, you know. And then I'd come back, see how long I took, and he'd look at his watch again. But those were good days. I'll never forget them. I mean, I had wonderful times. That's about it.
What was your favorite place to work at? Of all the clubs that you worked at, what was your favorite place that you worked at?
I think the most favorite place was the Pump Room, because I got to meet celebrities. I got to meet Frank Sinatra. I got to meet Milton Berle. Some celebrities there. And that was probably most famous. And I had a band there. I didn't work alone. I had a 5-piece band. Then the weekends I work alone. But I learned to adapt myself with a band, with a single as a pianist, and doing vocals and singing. And then, of course, I met your mom. Your mom was an exciting time. We worked at a restaurant downtown. I can't think of the name of it.
Remember?
I mean, most of the places I worked were without mom.
Yeah.
But that's where I met her. It's one of these.
Oh, Ye Old Cellar.
The Old Cellar, that's right. We met there, and the bartender used to say to Mom, "Why don't you leave him alone? Don't you see you're bothering him?" and he'd say, "Oh, there was another girl that was chasing me there at the time. She was, and Bob was his name. He said, 'Can't you see you're interfering with Bob?' And Mom looked so good. I didn't care what he said. She looked great, and that's how we met. And we got married, of course. And I guess our marriage was a good one. It lasted 60 years. So I guess that's a pretty good marriage, you know. That's about it. Any other questions?
I got one. I got a loaded one, though.
Ah,
So you might need to think for a sec. Of all of your 92 years of life, all of them, what is one of your most favorite memories?
Oh, that's
one
good.
of my most favorite memories.
I'd say your most favorite, but I feel like that's hard to pinpoint.
I had a lot of good memories. One of my most favorite memories, I have to think about that, you know? I don't know offhand, but I did have a lot of them. I enjoyed going on trips with the family. When the kids were young, we'd go out to Florida, or we went to different places. We went horseback riding. I think I was a family person. I enjoyed being with my family. We had a lot of good times. We went to the different ranches when we were young. We'd ride horses and a lot of good times. That was one of my favorite. And as far as where I worked, I think I enjoyed Fritzl's because the food was so good.
Ooh, what kind of food?
Oh, delicious food. And the customers would say, "Come on, join me for dinner." And they'd always buy me dinner.
Aww.
I mean, it was good too, good food. The pump room was not good for food. The pump room was for celebrities. I did get to meet some nice celebrities there. But the Fritzl's was great for food.
We love food.
And I did enjoy working in Vancouver. I went to Vancouver, Canada. Oh, I liked it out there. That was one of my good memories. And the food was out of this world there. I love the food in Vancouver. And it's been a good gig. I had a long gig.
Okay, I've got another loaded question. You ready? So, as someone who's lived so much life and so many experiences, a million things, right? What is a piece of advice you have for some youngins like me to like get through life?
Advice for women, young women like you?
Young people.
Young people?
Yeah.
I think the advice I could give young people is learn to be compassionate, learn to love someone, everyone, not the ones that are mean and bad to you, but be kind, lovable, understanding, compassionate. Don't let those things ruin your life. A lot of people, it controls them. The anger, bad emotions. Don't let that happen to you. Learn to live life in a positive way. Be more, what's the word? Oh, I don't know. Just be more positive thinking.
How about patient?
Have patience, absolutely patience. Be a lovable person, be kind, and try to understand that life is just a really short turn around. We don't have much time on earth. I always say, life is like a bowl of cherries. And sometimes it's the sour cherries. But don't let that get the best of you. You got to turn around and fight back. And I always tried to do that. Now I got hit with the big C. And it's not always the easiest way to live. But I'm trying the best I can. And that's about it.
You're an optimist. An optimist. Like optimistic.
What, honey?
I said you're optimistic. You've got a good
Optimist?
perspective.
My ultimate what?
You're optimistic. Like you see life as a glass half full instead of half empty. I see that.
You see that?
I see that for you.
Yeah.
But I see that for me too. I think it's a Libra thing.
Well, I just know that when my time comes, what's the word? I hope it's quick. I hope I can go to the kingdom of heaven in my sleep. If the Lord sees it that way for me, I'd be very lucky. And I don't want what happened to your mother happen to me. She suffered too much. I don't want to go through that. I don't want no part of that. I just don't understand, and I shouldn't even try to understand why so many people suffer the way they do. I guess God's got a reason for everything. I don't know why.
I have a question.